Pray tell, is there any generator in this Nigeria or in this world that does not make any sound at all? People of God. So once again, on this video, I'm going to be holding this mic like this because there's a lot of hammerings going on in this environment. I can hear it. Sometimes it gets loud. Sometimes it doesn't really get loud. But I don't want any interference in this conversation I'm about to have with you amazing people. Hence the reason I am going to be holding my mic on this video. All right, so you're all specially welcome to my channel. Again, you're welcome to Frankly Speaking with Gloria Elijah. My name is Gloria Elijah. You're welcome to my new apartment. Yes, and ignore the emptiness going on around, guys. There's actually a lot around, but you're not going to see it because of the positioning of this camera. All right, but don't worry, very soon you're going to see some paintings, artworks here and there. I'm going to fill up the space gradually, but for now I think I'm just content with having a bit of sanity here. All right, and yeah, this is that video I promised you all on the previous video I did. I told you guys I was going to give you the full scoop, the juicy tea about what really happened that made me move out of my previous apartment. And it's not just about one experience, it's about a recurring experience. It's about the greed of people. It's about, I don't know, guys, it's about a lot of things. Okay, so we're gonna get into this video. I'm gonna give you guys all the juicy tea, but before we continue, once again, I want to appreciate all of you amazing people for the love you showered on me on my previous video. The reception was really amazing. I was really scared at the point of uploading that video because I wasn't really sure if I still had your attention, you know. So seeing all of your comments, the likes, the reaction of the video, guys, it was really encouraging. Thank you all so much. I do not take it for granted. I do not take you for granted. And don't forget that on Saturday we're going to be having our FSWG Saturday YouTube live stream. It's going to be the first live stream of the month of December, which is like the last month of the year, So there's a lot to talk about. All right, yeah, so let's get into this video. So if I'm not wrong, this is my fourth apartment in 5 years of living alone in Lagos. Yes, I know it's like, guys, you know, it's very funny when I think about it. I feel like an unfaithful lover, you know, like an unfaithful girlfriend that cannot stay put in one relationship. There are people that believe in, oh, God will do it, everything will work out in the end, oh, stay in that situation, persevere, suffer more, and things will get better. Guys, Gloria Elijah is totally not that kind of person. I mean, I've lived that life, and to be very honest, it's not fun. It's not fun. It is draining. It is frustrating. It's going to freaking F up with your mental health. So I've lived that life of getting stuck in situations and hoping and believing God that situation is going to turn around for good, you know. I mean, guys, I just got to a stage in my life that I said, no, if I find myself in a situation like that again, I will move, I will leave, I will move. And that is the reason to date, I've lived in 4 different apartments in 5 years. And I can proudly beat my chest anytime, any day, and state that it was never my fault. Yes, it was because of the greed and the selfishness of people. Now, this is how it all started. I'm going to cut the story short. Yes, first apartment, I stayed there for 2 years, and that was because it was a BQ. It was one, guys, it was very small. I'm going to look in my archives, search in my archives, and see if I still have a video of what that BQ looked like. For those of you that followed my channel in 2018, 2019, then you must have seen me filming in that particular space. It was really small. Yes, so I stayed there in 2 years, or for 2 years, and then when I felt like, okay, it was time to move on, I moved out of there. That place had its own ups and downs as well. It was a crazy story. I don't want to even go into it because, well, in a way, it's not really relevant to what I'm about to, you know, share on this particular one. Anyways, moving on to apartment number 2. Apartment number 2 was a room and a parlor, self-contained. That one would have been perfect But guys, noise wanted to kill my destiny. Noise. It was so bad that there was a generator at the back of the window of my bedroom, or rather my bedroom window. And when I spoke to the facility manager about it, they told me, "Oh, don't worry, that it would not make noise." Pray tell, is there any generator in this Nigeria or in this world that does not make any sound at all? People of God. This man literally told me that I should not worry, that it wasn't going to make any sound. A generator. Oh God. Anyways, that was aside the story. The other part of the reason I left that one was that the landlady was literally, how do I put it? Should I say gaslighting us with our bills, or what exactly is that? Was that situation? So it's like you've paid for your service charge, right? I think I even did a video about this particular one, January of last year. I'm not really sure, but I think I did a video about it. I'm going to try and look for that video and then link it up to this one. So the landlady had actually collected money for service charge and all, and then she was literally refusing to pay for the services that us, the tenants, had actually paid for. So it was exhausting, it was hectic. At that point in time, I was doing a professional course with Pan Atlantic University. It was affecting my course, it was affecting my work, it was affecting my life. Things in my fridge kept on getting spoiled. Every time I cook, they go bad because she literally refused to buy light. And I had a generator, and the generator was also constituting noise in the apartment. So it was like a hellhole for me. I had to move out. That was apartment number 2. Then I was looking for another apartment. I found another one. Now, this particular apartment was like a dream come true. For me, at that point in time, it was perfect. It had everything I wanted in an apartment at that point in time. I was so excited about this apartment that, in as much as I thought or felt like I was doing my due diligence to find out, important information about the owner of the property, the services to be paid for, and what services were to be offered, guys, there were still so many red flags that I missed, which is the essence of this video today. And I strongly believe that by the time I share with you all those red flags, if you are intending to rent an apartment of your own or even buy a property of your own, trust me, it's going to really come in handy. Yes, so that you do not fall into the trap that I fell into, guys. So we're gonna start. I think I've said we're gonna get into it how many times now? Yeah, let's get into those red flags. Now, the first red flag that I missed, guys, started with the principal agent of the property. In Lagos, there's this thing that happens. I don't know if it happens in every other part of Nigeria or every other part of the world, but in Lagos, there's this thing that happens amongst agents. You're looking for an apartment or property, and you speak to an agent. If that agent does not have the property, the agent will talk to another agent that possibly has a property, and that's how they keep on talking to each other until they meet someone that actually has a link to the landlord that owns the property, right? Now, the person that knows the landlord is usually called the principal agent. Yeah. Now, that is the person that takes 5% of the 10% that is required of the potential tenant to pay as agency fee. Yes. So the remaining 5% is shared by the plenty other people that are attached to that connection, whatever, to that deal. Now, the principal agent of this particular property was the problem. So I had met an agent online on a property platform, and the agent had linked me to his colleague. They work in the same office. And then we had visited this particular property that had been advertised by them. Yeah. And then the facility manager of the property said, that there's the property manager, right, who is the principal agent. At that point in time, I did not know. But this person introduced himself as the property manager. This person went as far as talking about, the landlord is my friend, the landlord is based in the UK, the landlord just built the property and left it in my care to be the manager of the property. So I'm here taking care of the property, blah, blah, blah. I asked for the rent. I was told about the rent, and I said, okay, it's a lot, way out of my budget. But at that point in time, I really needed this space because I needed to get on my life. I'd been looking for a property for the past 2 months, going to 3 months even. At that point in time, I was also attending my professional course. So I did not have time, guys. I was stressed out. I just needed to settle down immediately. So I said, okay, let me speak with the landlord. The guy was like, oh, the landlord is in the UK, in London precisely. Landlord is not around, but I'm going to speak with the landlord on your behalf, blah, blah, blah. At that point in time, even my money was not even complete because that apartment was kind of out of my budget. So I said, okay, fine. If they are willing to accept a certain amount, because even the service charge was a lot, guys. The service charge, I don't want to mention figures on this video, so people will not think Gloria Elijah is a billionaire. Yes, but they mentioned a certain amount of money. And I said it was a lot. So what will happen is I'll move into the apartment and I will gradually pay the service charge like that. And they accepted and I agreed. And yeah, we did everything. We paid and all. Now, the service charge was the problem. That service charge, let me just go ahead and say it. The service charge was about 1 million. Actually 1 million. And with the way the principal agent sold the property to me, this person said that 1 million was supposed to cover for 1 year, taking care of the facility and also providing generator services. So they were going to be purchasing diesel from that 1 million. So I will have my own prepaid meter from PHC, and that's NEPA. And I'll be buying my own PHC and light. I'm like, okay, that's a good deal. Because where I was coming from, there was just one prepaid meter that all 8 tenants or 6 tenants had to use, and so it was under the control of the landlady of the property. So the day the landlady does not buy the light, everybody to your tent, to Israel, everything in your fridge goes bad, everything gets spoiled. So that service charge for that property was 1 million, and I accepted. I said, okay, fine, it's a fair deal. Fast forward to moving into the property. Yeah, I had already moved in. I had received my agreement. It was at the point of studying the agreement that I observed a clause. All these things I'm telling you guys, my lawyer was actually with me. Yeah, my lawyer saw the property with me. My lawyer came back to check the property. My lawyer was present at the point of payment for the property, or for the apartment rather. And when I saw the clause was that the 1 million I paid for service charge was a deposit, meaning, according to the way these people explained it on their document, on their contract, they said when the 1 million is exhausted, they will come and request for more. Now that became a problem because at that point in time I had already moved into the apartment. So there I was, frantically calling the so-called property manager. This guy was just ghosting me. 1 minute he will pick, another minute he will not pick. So at some point, it was as if he blocked me, unblocked me. This guy was just playing games. Guys, to cut the long story short, I discovered that this so-called property manager was just an agent. Yeah, let's call him the principal agent. And the so-called landlord was not actually the landlord. This was a property or a facility management company who had, I think, power of attorney from the owner of the property, to manage the facility for them. So guys, that was the red flag that I did not, it was there, but I did not really see it. Yeah, because I should have asked to have a one-on-one meeting with the so-called landlord, but I did not ask because I was just so carried away with the beauty of the apartment. I really wanted to settle down as well. So fast forward to the contract. I started trying all my best to contest this clause, and these people refused. Guys, it did not even help matters with the so-called property manager. This guy was literally lying that, yeah, it was what they sold to him that he sold to me. They did not tell him that it was supposed to be a deposit. And I was, at that point in time, I was frustrated because I'm like, so am I supposed to start moving out of this house now? What's going to happen? So anyways, they assured me that usually the 1 million is supposed to carry for 1 year, and even there would be a remainder. And if there's a remainder, they will carry it over to the next year. And I shouldn't worry that if I thought they are going to ask for an extra, it's probably going to be very, very little. I said, okay, fair enough. I mean, for me, at that point in time, that was some sort of consolation. Yeah, I said, okay, fine. As long as I'm not paying way above my budget, I'm good with that. So this all this contesting I'm talking about, guys, it ran for I think about 2 or 3 months. Yeah, so it wasn't like a one-way conversation thing. It was something that I kept on fighting and contesting, not like physical fight or no. I kept on making calls, sending emails. My lawyer too was, and they assured me that I should not worry, that a deposit does not mean I'm going to be paying double of the 1 million I had already paid. I said, okay, fine, it's all well and good. So there I was living in that property. First 1 year, was not really that great. It was not really that great. There were so many things that I did not see from the beginning about that property that I started seeing. The water was horrible. Guys, I don't want to talk about all those details. It was just horrible. It was just horrible. But one thing I really loved about the space was that it was really, really quiet and serene. But in the midst of all of that peace, there was a lot of shit going on. There was a lot of shit going on. Now, to cut the long story short, guys, the first 1 year, that 1 million was exhausted in 9 months. And they required me to pay more money. They demanded for more money. And before the money was exhausted, these people were sending bills monthly, and the bills were not just adding up. Guys, see, I don't want to spoil anybody's business. I'm really tempted to go into details of this matter. But if I go into details, I'm going to be calling names. I'm going to even mention the name of the company. But I don't want to. I am so tempted. Oh my God. But I don't want to. I'm not that petty. I'm not that mean. But the point is, the bills were not adding up. There was fraud going on. There was greed going on. Guys, the bills were not adding up. The bills were not adding up. Yeah, it was not adding up. And it was all because of that clause of it's a deposit. It gave them the free hand to chop up that service charge however way they liked. It was as if they had a calculation of what they wanted to be collecting a service charge for that particular property from each tenant every year. So the way they did it, they chopped up the service charge, and in 9 months it was exhausted. Guys, the way they were doing this thing, it boiled down to the diesel. How they were billing us for the diesel, guys. The diesel was these people's gold mine, to the point that different tenants decided, that okay, let's look for solutions. We looked for solutions. We broached these people with a meeting, with our solution, and they were reluctant to accept it. In fact, they did not want to accept it. So that made tenants begin to move out. Yes, tenants began to move out. Guys, this story is very deep. I'm being very careful not to name names, guys. I'm trying to control my mouth. But my 1 million was exhausted in 9 months, and I was required to pay extra, which I did. Extra 300k plus, I did. Now, because I was not ready to move out, and I wasn't ready to move out because my other neighbors, they were already moving out and all. Me, I was not ready to move out because I was busy. There was what's it called now? BB and Zamdi happening in early this year, January, and then there were other reality TV shows that I was actually reviewing at that time. Guys, there was just a lot. This year was full. Yes, so I could not start house hunting again. So I said, okay, let me renew again and stay. And I renewed and I stayed. Ladies and gentlemen, as at the time I moved out of that place, the service charge I was paying was running into 3 million. It was getting close to 3 million. From 1 million I had paid before, it was running into 3 million. And it still boiled down to the so-called deposit clause. Still boiled down to the way these people were killing us and chopping us off with the way they were calculating diesel consumption. Their major excuse, which kind of swayed into their favor, was the hike up in the price of fuel and diesel, the scarcity, the increase in the price, but still the way these people were calculating the whole thing. Guys, it was all levels of fraud. Anyways, what is the moral of this story, guys? On a normal day, I should just come and just give you guys surface advice, right? But I need to give you guys some details, even though I'm not really giving you guys all the details. But the moral of this whole story, I've told you all, is when you are hunting for an apartment, beginning with whoever comes to pose as the agent, please, I beg you all in the name of God, do your background check. I mean, guys, I can't really emphasize how important it is for you to know who the agent is. Yes, because there are so many agents that pose that they know the owner of the property, and the truth is they don't know. These people are hustling for their daily bread, so they don't mind defrauding people just to get their next paycheck, and you don't want to fall a victim. So please do your due diligence, do your findings, check. And even though the person is adamant that they are the principal agent of the place, make sure you demand or request to have a meeting with the landlord. Guys, if possible, safe, please be bold enough to even ask for evidence that the person presented to you as a landlord is actually the landlord. If you want to see documents, yes. I mean, it's better for you to be that bold and audacious than falling a victim of anything. Now, number 2, when you see a property you like, don't be overly excited about it. I mean, be happy, but don't be overly excited, because too much excitement is going to make you blind to any red flags or any loopholes that exist, if there's any, right? So you want to make sure that you're still in your right frame of mind. You're using a clear head to negotiate on that property. Doesn't only have to be just about property, it could be about anything you want to buy. Make sure that you're using your clear head to negotiate, and when you're negotiating, make sure that you get a legal representative to study the contract. Even before it gets to the point of people signing contracts, make sure that it is clearly stated in the offer letter what you are paying, ladies and gentlemen. And if you by chance see the provision of the word deposit anywhere, I beg you in the name of God, or whatever you believe in, make sure you ask for it to be removed, or make sure you ask for it to be defined, or make sure you ask for a clearly written explanation or definition of what that deposit means, and make sure it is not to your own detriment. If at all you don't even understand all the grammar they are writing legally, ask for it to be removed, and they should replace it with an English term that is very familiar to you, that you understand. Guys, I know why. You see that word deposit, it's really almost ruined my 2022. So make sure you're very sure. And even though all of these things are rectified in the offer letter, make sure that the agreement, that's the tenancy agreement that is presented to you at the end of the day, make sure that you give it to a legal representative, preferably someone that's into property law. Make sure you give it to that person to study it for you. Make sure you give it to that person to study it for you. Let them study it. The reason is that you as a layman, that is if you're not a legal person, you will not, trust me, you will not, even though I studied English in school, but guess what? If they give me a legal document, I cannot interpret everything 100%, because lawyers are very smart people. Any lawyer you come across will always prepare a document in favor of his or her client. You are not that lawyer's concern, so they don't care about you. They care about protecting their clients. That is how loyal lawyers are to their clients. Yes, their client is the one paying them, so you're not the one. So make sure that you that is receiving that tenancy agreement, you study it with a lawyer as well. Preferably someone that's into property law, because they will see what you cannot see. They will see what you do not see, and they will see what you do not predict or what you cannot project. Also, in that tenancy agreement, you want to ensure that all the services that will be offered in that facility are clearly stated. Guys, clarity is key in renting an apartment in Lagos. You want to ensure that they are clearly stated. It is very important to clearly stated. You don't want to hear, oh, when you come, we're going to give you light. Oh, when you come, we're going to give you water. It should be written. It should be stated. The reason for this is, trust me, property business is a thriving business, but there are still people that are overly greedy. They want to over-benefit, over-gain off the tenant, regardless of anything. They just want to gain more than anything else. So you don't want to be a scapegoat. Yeah, because these things can actually take you unawares. So you want to ensure that you know the services that you're paying for, And then what you are not paying for, you want to also know how you're going to provide for that for yourself. Very important. So last but not the least, ladies and gentlemen, I don't know if I'm missing anything, but last but not the least, it doesn't pay to stay in a property you're not happy with, and then they're messing up with your mental health, and you are dying in silence, or you've talked and talked and nobody is listening, and you've complained and complained and nobody wants to do anything about it, and they're making you feel like you're the problem of the property. Ladies and gentlemen, your peace of mind is key, your mental health is key. So if you're in a property and you don't feel safe, you don't feel healthy, you don't feel secure, you don't feel confident, that you can live a long life and prosper there, please move. Nobody's going to come and give you a trophy for being the best in perseverance. Nobody's going to come and give you a trophy, for being the best in swallowing issues in. You might die before your time. Yeah, you might die before your time. Anyways, guys, that's all for this particular video. I hope my words of advice make sense. Yes, to those of you especially who are looking forward to living alone or looking for apartment or properties to buy. I hope that these words of advice will help you, will mean something to you. If you enjoyed this video, please let me know in the comment section below. If you've experienced what I've experienced, please also go ahead and share your story with us in the comment section below, and feel free to like this video, feel free to share this video, feel free to give this video a thumbs up. Please give this video a thumbs up and share. You don't know who needs to hear this. You don't know who needs to hear all I have spilled on this video. And I'll see you guys on Saturday, 3 p.m. WAT for our FSWG Saturday YouTube live stream. Do not miss out and have an amazing day. Bye.